You've made it to the midpoint of the week. You found CNN 10. You're about to get up to speed on events happening worldwide. It's going to be great. I'm Carl Azus. First, here's what's happening with the Wuhan coronavirus we've been following this year. It's named for a Chinese city where it was first identified in mid-December. Like other coronaviruses, it can cause breathing problems as well as fever and coughing. It can go into pneumonia. According to U.S. health officials, most people will catch coronaviruses in their lifetimes. The new one from China has caused severe and deadly symptoms in some patients and barely any symptoms in others. More than 43,000 people have caught it so far, most of them in China. The disease has killed more than 1,000 people, and all but 2 of those victims were in China. The communist country's government, which controls the media, has been criticized for censoring information about the virus. The United Nations has been criticized for not initially doing enough to raise the alarm about it. Meanwhile, the fear of the disease has closed borders, canceled flights, slowed down business, and led to either delays or quarantines aboard 4 cruise ships, though only one of them has confirmed an outbreak of coronavirus. The Diamond Princess has been docked in Japan for a week. At least 135 of the people aboard have tested positive for the disease. There were a total of 3,700 people on the ship. The quarantine for passengers could end next Wednesday, but that's not guaranteed for crew members because they haven't been separated from people who have the virus. CNN's Will Ripley spoke to a patient who says the coronavirus needs to be taken seriously, but also with perspective. It hasn't infected or killed nearly as many people as the flu does every year.
Headlines are grim. Each day seems to bring more bad news.
A grim milestone for the coronavirus.
Often overlooked in the Wuhan coronavirus hysteria, patients like Rebecca Frazier from Oregon.
This is the door.
Frazier is one of a growing number of Americans to test positive for coronavirus on this cruise ship, the Diamond Princess, under quarantine in Yokohama. Japan has coronavirus patients under quarantine at hospitals nationwide, including this one in Tokyo. We think we know where Rebecca's room is. In fact, there she is. She's standing in the window right now. Rebecca, here we are. Hi. How are you doing? Hi. Turns out she's doing just fine. Barely has any symptoms. The majority of coronavirus patients don't end up dead or seriously ill. The majority recover. Do you know what they're giving you for coronavirus? What kind of treatment they're giving you?
They have not given me any actual medication or any fluids or anything for the virus.
She says the hardest part is being away from her husband, Kent. That's him waving at us from their quarantine cabin. Kent takes his temperature every day. Every day, he still does not have the virus.
So that one was 37.3.
I really don't have that much concern over it right now.
An additional 6 cases.
The number of sick passengers on the Diamond Princess grows by the day, including 2 of their close friends on the ship, a couple they saw up to 5 times a day, both with barely any symptoms.
This fear of, mob mentality sort of fear is just unwarranted.
Rebecca was talking about the people online and the things they were saying.
Just today, I got a message from somebody that said, "Don't come home."
I actually got a couple of really threatening messages. People can be really nasty.
She says they can also be really nice, flooding her phone with messages of love and support, a welcome distraction when she's stuck in a place like this. Will Ripley, CNN, Tokyo.
When we produced this show, we didn't yet have primary results from the U.S. state of New Hampshire. Monday, it was holding the second contest in the presidential nomination process, so we don't know who won among the 11 Democrats in the race, though President Donald Trump was widely expected to win among Republicans. In the Iowa Democratic caucuses, new technology caused some of the problems last week, but old tech was expected to help in New Hampshire.
Why does the small town of Windsor, New Hampshire, use a voting machine that's around 130 years old?
It works. Seriously, the easy, short answer is it works. It ain't broken, don't fix it. This is unhackable, okay?
Iowa's first in the nation caucus threw the Democratic presidential primary into chaos. There were phone app issues, and it took days to deliver results. All eyes have now turned to New Hampshire's primary, where voters are next to cast their ballots.
I understand what happened in Iowa. I'm kind of glad to see it. They had to go back to old school to actually physically count the ballots, the paper ballots by hand.
People are saying that they think that maybe the calendar might change around next time. They're not happy with Iowa. They want a different kind of state to lead off besides New Hampshire. Do you feel like this?
We are the first. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry, buddy. Get over it. We're first.
So this is me. I got my ballot.
Yeah.
I give it to you.
Right. You've been checked out, so that you voted in. You did your thing. Now you've checked out.
Mm-hmm.
When you go, I put the ballot in here. I crank it.
That's it. And that bell means the vote has been
It counted. It went down into the thing.
patent July 30th, 1889,
Oh,
and then
89.
August 19th, 1890.
This is what we've used all my life. I can never remember is this thing. So this is an actual ammo box company. They used to make ammo boxes, and then they just put this piece on top of it. There's only a few towns that are still using them. Yeah, so knock on wood, we've never messed up. And I've been doing this for over 30 years.
I'm incredibly supportive of leveraging technology. I work for a tech company. Using tech when it's properly validated and secure can solve incredibly difficult and challenging problems that society faces today.
Okay, so you put your ballot in.
The paper ballot part, that's everywhere in the state.
That's everywhere in the state, and that's state law. It's not necessarily feasible for everywhere in terms of scalability, but it's a really effective means of conducting our elections here in New Hampshire, right? 1.3 million people, it works.
The bells and whistles don't matter. It's the vote that matters, and keeping it true.
So all this technology that we talk about all the
Is
time
not a
now,
good thing.
to you think the best thing to do, put a box, put a bell on it, put your ballots in there, you're good to go.
I would almost say yes, because how can you mess this up? Really, it's just, if you have thousands of people, you're gonna need a bigger box. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys won't like this. Slower to get the results. A lot more trustworthy.
Ten-second trivia. About how long does it take light from the sun to reach Earth? 8 seconds, 8 minutes, 8 hours, or 8 days? Takes just over 8 minutes for the light from the sun to travel the 93 million miles to the Earth. Here is a great example of how if something's on the internet, it's gotta be true. Forget all about February 14th. February 10th was a special day because that's when brooms could stand up on their own. A viral tweet credited NASA with saying this because of the, quote, gravitational pull. We didn't actually find any quotes from NASA on this, but we did find lots of evidence. Just look at all these brooms. On the other hand,
and if you can actually make the bristles make a small little tripod down there, they'll stand up any day. People are saying that it's because the planets are lining up. No.
the online sensation swept the nation. A duster or vacuum can't hold a candle to. The stand-up proof that doesn't need a sleuth to show all you need's a brush and a handle too. If you see a broom stand alone in a room like there's a hitch with a witch that left it all lonely, don't think this'll make it better if you bristle, because after all, it's standing broom only. I don't know why some of y'all like it when I do that, but hopefully the aces at Owensboro Catholic High School don't mind. They're flying high in Owensboro, Kentucky, and subscribing and commenting on our YouTube site.